The 1982 World Cup semifinal between West Germany and France is considered one of the greatest games ever played, but it is forever stained by the assault of Seville. The incident involving German goalkeeper Harald "Tony" Schumacher and French defender Patrick Battiston remains arguably the most violent, unpunished foul in soccer history. The incident, July 8, 1982. In the 60th minute, with the game tied at 1-1, French legend Michel Platini played a beautiful through ball to substitute Patrick Battiston. The collision. Battiston reached the ball first and flicked it toward the goal. Schumacher, who had sprinted out of his box, made no attempt to play the ball. Instead, he launched himself into the air, twisting his body and slamming his hip directly into Battiston's face at full speed. The injury. Battiston was knocked unconscious instantly. He suffered broken teeth, damaged vertebrae, and eventually slipped into a coma on the pitch. Platini later said he thought Battiston was dead because he had no pulse and looked so pale. The scandal of non-punishment. The true scandal wasn't just the violence, but the referee's reaction. The decision. Dutch referee Charles Corver did not award a penalty, did not give a red card, and didn't even call a foul. He simply signaled for a goal kick. Schumacher's demeanor. While Battiston was being treated by frantic medics and carried off on a stretcher, Schumacher stood in his 6-yard box, chewing gum and impatiently waiting to restart the game. He never approached Battiston to check on him. The infamous quote. After the match, which West Germany won on penalties, with Schumacher making 2 saves, a reporter told the goalkeeper that Battiston had lost 2 teeth. Schumacher coldly replied, "If that's all that's wrong with him, tell him I'll pay for the crowns." This comment ignited a diplomatic firestorm between Germany and France. Schumacher became so loathed in France that a national newspaper poll asked who was the most hated man in the country. Schumacher came in first, beating out Adolf Hitler. The aftermath and reconciliation. The wedding apology. Under immense pressure, Schumacher eventually traveled to Metz to apologize to Battiston in person. He chose the day before Battiston's wedding to do so, accompanied by a mob of photographers, which many saw as a PR stunt rather than a sincere gesture. Forgiveness. To his immense credit, Battiston eventually forgave Schumacher. When the 2 teams met again in the 1986 World Cup semifinal, Battiston stated the incident was forgiven and forgotten. Career fallout. Schumacher was eventually forced out of the German national team and his club, FC Köln, in 1987. This wasn't because of the assault, but because he published an autobiography, On Fifth, that exposed widespread doping and prostitution parties within the German squad. The Tottenham scandal of 1980 is one of the most cinematic stories in sports history. It features a massive betting ring, police arresting players on the pitch during live TV broadcasts, and a redemption arc that ended with a World Cup trophy. The incident, Black Betting, 1980. The name Tottenham comes from Toto Calcio, the legal Italian football pools, and nero, black/illegal. The scheme. Unlike most match-fixing scandals led by mobsters, this was started by 2 ordinary men, a restaurant owner, Alvaro Trinca, and a fruit seller, Massimo Cruciani. The connection, Trinca's restaurant in Rome was a popular hangout for players from Lazio. The duo began paying players to fix matches so they could win massive bets with illegal bookmakers. The collapse. The scheme failed because several matches didn't go as planned. Facing financial ruin and threats from bookies, the 2 masterminds took the bizarre step of going to the police to report the very players they had been bribing. The dramatic arrests. On March 23, 1980, the Guardia di Finanza Italy's financial police staged a series of raids that shocked the nation. Police cars drove onto the tracks of stadiums across Italy. As players walked off the pitch at the final whistle, they were arrested in front of thousands of fans and live television cameras. Paolo Rossi's involvement. Paolo Rossi, then the most expensive player in the world and Italy's star striker, was playing for Perugia at the time. The accusation: Rossi was accused of agreeing to a 2-2 draw against Avellino. His defense: Rossi always maintained his innocence, claiming he was approached by a teammate and two strangers who asked how he thought the game would go. He allegedly replied, "A draw," and walked away, not realizing he was being implicated in a fix. The punishment: he was originally handed a 3-year ban, which was later reduced to 2 years on appeal. This allowed him to return to action just weeks before the 1982 World Cup. The 1982 redemption. Rossi's inclusion in the 1982 World Cup squad was a major scandal in itself. He hadn't played competitive football for 2 years and was in terrible physical shape. The ghost. In the first 3 games, Rossi was so bad that Italian journalists called him a ghost wandering aimlessly over the field. The resurrection. In the second round against favorites Brazil, Rossi suddenly woke up and scored a legendary hat trick to win 3-2. The hero. He went on to score 2 goals in the semifinal and the opening goal in the final against West Germany. Italy won the World Cup, and Rossi won the Golden Boot, the Golden Ball, and the Ballon d'Or, all in the same year.
The Rivaldo face-clutching incident from the 2002 World Cup is often cited as the most shameless example of play acting in soccer history. It occurred during a high-tension group stage match between Brazil and Turkey in Ulsan, South Korea. The incident, June 3, 2002. In the 94th minute, Brazil was leading 2-1. Rivaldo went to the corner flag to take a kick, purposely taking his time to wind down the clock. The provocation: frustrated by the time wasting, Turkish defender Hakan Ünsal kicked the ball toward Rivaldo to get him to hurry up. The contact? The ball was not kicked with extreme force and struck Rivaldo clearly on the thigh and knee. The Oscar performance? Rivaldo waited a split second, then collapsed to the ground, clutching his face in apparent agony and writhing on the turf as if he had been struck by a heavyweight boxer. The consequence? The referee, who did not have a clear view of where the ball hit, believed Rivaldo had been struck in the head. He showed Hakan Ünsal a second yellow card, sending him off and leaving Turkey with 9 men. The global backlash. What made this a scandal wasn't just the dive, but the fact that it was replayed instantly on the stadium's giant screens. Thousands of fans in the stadium and millions watching at home saw the blatant deception in slow motion while the referee was still ushering Ünsal off the pitch. Rivaldo's unrepentant stance. After the match, Rivaldo was surprisingly candid, admitting the ball hadn't hit his face, but justifying his actions. He told reporters, "I'm an experienced player. I was the injured party. The ball touched my leg, but the other player was wrong to kick it at me. In soccer, you have to be sly." The fine. FIFA had promised a crackdown on simulation before the tournament. Rivaldo became the first player ever punished under these new guidelines. He was fined 11,500 Swiss francs, about £5,000. The criticism: many felt the punishment was a slap on the wrist. Since he wasn't suspended, he was able to play in the rest of the tournament, eventually helping Brazil win their 5th World Cup title.
The Thierry Henry handball, often dubbed Le Hand of God or the Hand of Frog, remains one of the most controversial incidents in international soccer history. It didn't just decide a game, it ignited a diplomatic row between 2 nations and exposed a secret hush money deal at the highest levels of FIFA. The incident. November 18, 2009. France and the Republic of Ireland were in a high-stakes World Cup playoff for a spot in the 2010 South Africa tournament. The setup: in extra time at the Stade de France, with the tie balanced at 1-1, a French free kick was lofted into the box. The handball. The ball was heading out of play when Henry used his left hand twice, first to stop the ball from going out and then to adjust it into his path. He then crossed it to William Gallas, who headed it into the net. The referee. Despite frantic protests from the Irish players, Swedish referee Martin Hansen did not see the foul and awarded the goal. France progressed. Ireland was eliminated. The immediate fallout. The reaction was hysterical, as one reporter put it. Henry, previously one of the most respected players in the world, became a war criminal in Ireland overnight. Henry's admission. Immediately after the final whistle, Henry sat on the pitch next to a devastated Richard Dunne and admitted he had handled the ball. He later issued a statement saying, "The fairest solution would be to replay the game, but it is not in my control." The replay request. The Irish government and the FAI, Football Association of Ireland, formally requested a replay from FIFA and even appealed to the French Football Federation. FIFA rejected the request, stating that decisions of the referee on the field are final. The hush money scandal, exposed 2015. For years, the public wondered why the FAI had suddenly stopped their legal threats against FIFA. In 2015, during a massive corruption investigation into FIFA, the truth came out. The secret payment. It was revealed that FIFA had paid the FAI €5 million, approximately $7.1 million at the time. The loan. FIFA initially described it as a loan to help build a new stadium in Ireland. However, the agreement stipulated that if Ireland failed to qualify for the 2014 World Cup, which they did, the loan would be forgiven. The silence. In exchange for the money, the FAI agreed to drop all legal claims regarding the handball. Many fans and former players were disgusted, feeling the FAI had sold their integrity.
The Roberto Rojas razor blade incident, also known as the Maracanazo of the Chilean team, is arguably the most outrageous example of premeditated cheating in football history. It occurred during a 1990 World Cup qualifier between Brazil and Chile on September 3, 1989. The setup: high stakes in the Maracanã. Chile needed a win at the legendary Maracanã Stadium in Rio de Janeiro to qualify for the 1990 World Cup. By the 67th minute, Brazil was leading 1-0, and Chile's hopes were fading. Desperate to get the match annulled or Brazil disqualified, the Chilean team executed a secret, pre-planned plot. The incident, the firework, and the cut. A Brazilian fan, Rosemary Melo do Nascimento, threw a flare or firework onto the pitch. It landed about a meter away from the Chilean goalkeeper, Roberto El Condor Rojas. The deception. As smoke from the flare surrounded him, Rojas collapsed to the ground, writhing in apparent agony. When teammates and medics reached him, his face was covered in blood. The abandonment. The Chilean players, led by captain Fernando Astengo, refused to continue, claiming that the environment was unsafe for their lives. They carried the stricken Rojas off the field, and the referee was forced to abandon the match. The forensic exposure. At first, it looked like Brazil would be banned and Chile would be awarded the points. However, FIFA and investigators soon noticed several red flags. Photography evidence. A photographer, Paulo Teixeira, had captured the sequence of the flare landing. The photos clearly showed the flare landed beside Rojas, and he only collapsed after the smoke cleared. Lack of burns. Medical exams showed the wound on Rojas's forehead was a clean cut, with no signs of gunpowder residue, heat, or singed hair that would be consistent with a firework explosion.
the confession. Under mounting pressure, Rojas eventually confessed. He had hidden a razor blade inside his goalkeeper glove. When the flare landed, he used the smoke as cover to slice his own forehead. The brutal sanctions. FIFA's response was unprecedented and essentially killed Chilean football for a decade. Roberto Rojas was handed a lifetime ban from professional football, though it was eventually lifted in 2001 after he requested a pardon. The Chilean national team was banned from the 1994 World Cup qualifiers. The coach and staff, Coach Orlando Aravena and the team doctor, were also banned for life for their roles in orchestrating or covering up the plot. The captain, Fernando Astengo, was banned for 5 years for ordering the team to leave the pitch.